Sony, do you conspire against me? I hope this isn't just a rumor, because honestly, if I'm to get all of the God of War games, like literally all of them, the Greek Saga, so does that include the 2 PSP games, okay, the Dark Sheep of the Family in the PS3, oh god, what was that one called, Awakening? No, it's Ascension, I don't know why did I think Awakening, but anyways, the 3 God of War games, if we were to get those all in a complete and, remastered collection, I got some problems, man, because in theory, that's awesome, man, because, well, we got a remastered 3 early in the PS4 life cycle. It's been a minute. I don't even think that there's a proper way, like, outside of some of those, goofy ass, we got pseudo backwards compatibility, but just to simply properly play God of War 1, God of War 2, those PSP games, you gotta either hook up a PS3 that you can have access to some of those other collections that are out there, because that's how that was re-released, but it's been a couple of generations removed, and yeah, if we get a proper PC port of all of those old school, just hack and slash fun as hell games, that would be awesome. But then I also cast my mind back to thinking, oh yeah, we had QTEs of Kratos banging Greek bitches with banging bodies, so I'm very worried, especially in today's landscape, with it A, being put out by current day Santa Monica Studios, and B, being Sony putting out a remaster, and we have to go over this stuff with a fine-tooth comb to see how much stuff has actually been changed from remaster. So I don't think they come out unscathed, but when it comes to first-party Sony franchises, they've actually been pretty good with God of War, so this could be all right. Let's hear it out. Okay, what's this rumor? Because I'd imagine, like, if this is going to be confirmed or not, we're very likely to hear that at the Game Awards here at the, the beginning of December? I keep referencing it like I know what's going to be happening, but an announcement of a collection like this would be a huge boon for stupid old Dorito Pope, the Dorito Pope, Jeff Keighley, and it's also a great place for a lot of the early 2025 games to probably get a good showcase. So yeah, I could totally see this getting announced then, but according to a new rumor, in honor of the franchise's 20th anniversary, yo, that's crazy to think about. I remember playing God of War 1. I remember, oh my god. That's one of my fondest PS2 memories that doesn't include a JRPG. I love these games, and I would love the opportunity to play through them again. Sony Santa Monica is currently looking to remaster the original Greek myth-inspired God of War for modern hardware. Yeah, that'd be welcome. In a vacuum, okay? Word of the pre-Atreus era Kratos' return was first brought to the public attention by noted video game scooper Lunatic Ignis. Okay. Speaking to his followers on October 10th, the scooper asserted, yes, the rumors are true. God of War Greek Saga Remastered, not the actual title, is in the works at Santa Monica Studios and Nix's Software. Ooh, they're working on something else, too, that we just recently talked about. God damn. Oh, they're working on the PC port for Spider-Man 2. That is coming out January 30th, so theoretically, yeah, they shouldn't be tied up on stuff that much longer. And plus, a PC port for a relatively new game shouldn't be that difficult anyways. But then again, you could have some extra time spent on that Deaf Black Girl spray paint minigame. Anyways, the development is finished, and they are just waiting for an announcement release. Okay, interesting. Releasing in 25. Okay, yeah, to correspond with an important anniversary, and we know with a lot of these franchises, they like to capitalize on important anniversaries. And so, yeah, no, it all makes sense. With an announcement, somewhere between December and March, and the Game Awards being probably the most significant or most watched events on the calendar. Okay. And a follow-up tweet, Ignis further clarified, when I said Greek Saga, I mean all Greek Saga. Okay. Suggesting the collection will include God of War 2, 3, Ascension, and the portable-only titles Ghost of Sparta and Chains of Olympus. Which, yeah, in fact, in the even 2018, and in God of War Ragnarok, and in the expansion, the free expansion, if you remember, Valhalla, all of those games all got referenced, and it's not like they were shit on or derided or anything like that. They just ended up playing into the character development of Kratos, including squaring off against Greek Kratos, or at least he was a big part of the Valhalla expansion. So yeah, Santa Monica Studios really does love the history of God of War. So if there's one collection, one remake to a beloved franchise that I don't think is going to get bastardized, this is about the best opportunity that we're going to see. You obviously know that Sony realizes that, yeah, we might be pushing Aloy as the mascot of this franchise, but when push comes to shove, if we're looking at a character that is a system seller that we can bank on, yeah, it's Kratos, bro. Okay, we don't need to have any hacks out here detracting from Kratos. So then when you hear this, okay, because there was a God of War live action series that was in the works, and now that we're hearing that there's development problems and that one of the hacks attached to this project ended up leaving, this is actually, trust me on this one, this is addition by subtraction. The God of War live action series suffers yet another setback, despite scripts for the first season being praised by both Sony and Prime, which, yeah, okay, here's so many red flags that it's basically a CCP parade. God of War live action on Amazon Prime. Ugh. Praised by Sony. Ugh. And when you hear the showrunner that ended up leaving from this, guy who famously said, I love to hear detraction from the fan base because whenever I hear that they have a love for a character, my way to fight back is to make them gay. You will jump for joy that this is in development hell and pray that it ultimately gets canceled. Because if you're a fan of any franchise that's out there and you hear that somebody's out there kicking the tires in order to make a live action, or hell, at this point in time, I'm looking squarely at Lord of the Rings, even an animated adaptation of some of the lore, you just look at them square in the eye and go, shut up, stop, no, not right now. If this was 15 years ago and potentially 15 years in the future, we could talk. But right now is the creative nadir of the industry. There might be good films that come out right now. There might be passable films. There might be some films that people will advocate you go and see if you just simply turn off your brain and just enjoy the ride. We're the classic films, okay? I would say mid-2000s was about the last time that we got mid to late 2000s. I'll go ahead and extend it out a little bit further. I know this isn't just me simply being an old head. I'll go ahead and clarify my position. Just films that stand the test of time. Like, you can go back to the 70s. I mean, The Godfather, widely regarded, and I would put it up there as being the best film of all time. And you had a lot of Scorsese's output during that time. At Raging Bull, Taxi Driver, again, just verifiable classics he was putting out. And then Coppola's other work with Apocalypse Now coming out, and it's like, yeah, okay. You got banger after banger after banger, Chinatown, and then on the comedy front side of things, Blazing Saddles, just simply iconic films. Into the 80s, you can do the exact same thing. Terminator, Aliens, 90s, like we could be here all day if I just list off stuff, and then into the 2000s. But then when you turn that decade into the 2010s, that's when things really start to dry up. And I'm sure you can just go ahead and point to certain examples, but like I have it behind me with the Skyfall poster. Like, I've seen it a couple of times. I like it. I like it enough to have a poster of it, mostly because I think the poster's cool, and I couldn't find an 11x17 Casino Royale poster, so shoot me. But Skyfall came out 2012, I think, or something like that, compared to 2006's Casino Royale. Casino Royale, it's been a long time since I watched that one, but I can pretty much run through that film chronologically. I'll miss a couple of scenes, but I'll basically be able to tell you the story beats as we go on. I'm telling you that was one of the first films to have 2 third acts, that it's definitely not needed. Like, Quantum of Solace would actually be a memorable movie if you take that second third act and put it on the front of it, and then you would have just had them after James's recovery at the end, with him giving Vesper the password. If you've seen the film, you know the scene that I'm referencing at the end. If that was the end of the film, could have done that. Could have started Quantum of Solace off with a bang. Outside of that, I don't remember a goddamn thing of that movie. But there's nothing that has come out in the past 10, 15 years that really holds a candle and you would really classify as being an all-time classic. At least with the same quantity that you would get from decades previous. From TV, from music, to video games. It's just, none of it's really stuck. Kind of, honestly, I think society peaked in on and around 2008. I don't think that's a really bold statement, but it's also a topic to discuss at a later time. We're talking about, yes, this squandered God of War live action series, which, where do you go, man? Do you go with a more developed Kratos and try to fill in his backstory? But it would be interesting because I kind of think Greek Kratos, even with all the commercial, critical, and fan success of Norse mythology Kratos, like, you'd be silly to just simply gloss over utter rage Kratos from the Greek mythology. Like, It'd be interesting. Okay. The development of the long-awaited God of War TV series has been long-awaited, or it's just been long-threatened. God of War TV series has experienced another setback after 3 top executives, led by Wheel of Time showrunner. Yeah, and sorry to Wheel of Time fans, this Rafe Judkins, the I make your favorite characters gay, left the project, which is a giant W, by the way. The show the show has seen little progress since it was announced in 2022, and now fans might have to wait a little bit longer as the studios get their act together. And trust me, there is no fan of this that is disappointed by this development. I would guarantee that. Because if you want a good cinematic experience, just watch the gameplay. Or I guess, what do they call those? Not quite long play, but where they cut out all the cutscenes and all the relevant context and then just string it into like a really long video. Where you can basically get what amounts to a regular runtime of your average new quality premiere TV show. Basically, like, if you're looking forward to this, if you're one of those people that, think in a vacuum this would be a good idea, you would end up getting 8-10 episodes of a God of War TV show for one season. You can pretty much get that if you just watch all of the cinematics from Ragnarok. Pretty much get 8 to 10 hours of cinematics out of that. Just be happy with that. That's excellent. I've seen that reviewed. I've seen that played multiple times. Yeah, that's better than any script that you would get from Hollywood today. Guarantee it. According to Deadline, Amazon and Sony decided to move in a different creative direction, despite praising the first scripts from Rafe Judkins and his fellow EPs Hawk Odsby and Mark Fergus, Children of Men and Iron Man. Well, Iron Man was famously great because they didn't have a script, and for as much as I really appreciate that film, and that's 2008, remember when Iron Man originally came out, third act really falls apart, and Jeff Bridges' Obadiah Stane just goes nuts for no reason. Can't speak to Children of Men. I don't think I've watched that. I know the premise. I know Clive Owen is really good in it. I thought that was an adaptation. Anyways, the studio are now restarting the project from scratch. Meaning it will take a little bit longer to see the live action series on Prime. That's fine. Take as much time as you need. In fact, take all the time that you need. The show is expected to be the first live action adaptation of the popular video game franchise that has been running since 2005. The game blends Greek and Norse mythology as it tells the story of Kratos, a Greek god of war who decides to retire the Norse realm of Midgard after being betrayed. Yes, exactly. So is that the time frame that they're setting it up on? Because you skip a lot of Kratos' story by going directly to that point. But hopefully we got to a point with the development of this show because, other successful video game adaptations. I beg your pardon, and you lead off with Halo, like, bro. By the time the second season of Fallout comes out, everybody's going to realize what trash that is. And then The Last of Us, after season 2, after you have the golf episode, is anybody really going to look back fondly on The Last of Us? In general, God of War's potential looked great from the very beginning. Don't talk like this, bro. This is not the time to be making this stuff. Leave the games alone. Don't adapt anything that you love because it's one of those monkey paws type situations. Nothing good can come from this. Only pain, only suffering. Hell, just look over at Star Wars fans. Look at look at those. Look at the collection of fans right there. Does anybody look fondly upon Halo? Yeah, exactly. And at his peak, Master Chief was arguably the face of video games, and now what has he been reduced to? A footnote for a tech demo of a floundering studio announcing, hey guys, we're working on a new engine. Ugh. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.